So first of all, I have to ask, in the 2019 Talk the Talk show, why did you go on the stage barefoot?
Well, it kind of like first why I went, it was I realized I don't have any shoes that I could be in front of so many people. Like I am kind of like a Mowgli. I love to go barefoot. I'm not really like fashionable. Like even I said, like all the shoes I have, people are gifted. Like my partner was like, honey, I love you, but here's shoes for you when I turned 29. Like, thank you. So that was the first thing. I realized the day before the stage, people were like, yeah, so we have been planning our outfits, 2 weeks, and the girls were like hyped that they have the costumes and everything ready, like what they're gonna wear. And I was like, I haven't even think about it. And then I was like, okay, I don't have anything. And then I was like, actually, I don't want it. I less I have on, more I feel like people can see who I am, and not just trying to do any stage presence different than I am. And my speaking is always telling my story, so you have to be in line with who I am and not just looking cool and fashionable person. So
now I make the link. So did you do that on purpose because you talked about Mowgli?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing, like I didn't think about it that true, but that like when I realized I don't even have good shoes because I never caring about those stuff, and then I realized if I shouldn't care about those, and if I'm barefoot, people see me more naked and see more than Mowgli that I'm talking about. So it just went the line,
Okay, makes sense. Fair enough.
So I didn't plan like 1 week before. I planned one night like before, and it's like that's it.
Okay.
And it made sense.
Makes sense now.
Yeah.
So when was the first time that you openly talked about your transition?
I think that, the whole my life, I carried this kind of like shame of being different. And I was thinking that, whole my life I tried to pass, I was hiding my body. I was just trying to, wishing people believe that, I would be a man and in a man's body. And then when I think I was like 23 years old, and I came out as like, okay, I'm at least I'm non-binary. I don't know, maybe something else too. And that time, then I went to top surgery. And after that, I was thinking if I'm gonna start to go to this transition, that when I'm gonna pass as a man, so when people don't recognize that I'm trans, I'm never gonna tell anybody because I was having so much shame and pain inside of me. So I was thinking then I'm free, that nobody, I don't have to explain myself. I'm gonna be getting the mold and I'm never gonna tell my story. But then actually everything changed when I started to do my transition. When I did my top surgery, I started to feel this need of telling my story. I realized that that was the time that, after my top surgery, I had to lay 2 weeks in the bed, and I started to see this dream. And the dream was like I was in the stage using the microphone.
Okay.
And I didn't know at all because I was never speaking microphone. I was like, okay, I'm really bad at singing. That can't be it. It had to be something else. And then after the top surgery, I started to volunteer to help. I wanted to be the person I needed when I was young. So I went to SETA and HESETA. I wanted to help the youth, and then they're like, have you ever tell your story more. We would want to use your story. And from there on, they just started to use me. I started to go in 1 year, train politicians, the doctors, kids doctors, psychologists, and I realized that. So when I started to tell my story, is like when I actually started to finally get my body that I deserved and myself and being out there and put myself out there, I realized that now it's not anymore actually time to hide. Now it's time to, what is the reason for all of this? So I turned the shame like power.
So once you gained your confidence.
Yeah. So it's like I realized that it's not something to be ashamed of. I realized that it was my duty kind of to tell who I am because, I suffer so much already for it. So I don't want anybody else to suffer. I can do something about it. So
I love that you wanted to be who you needed when you were younger.
Yeah.
It's very cute. What's been your most memorable speech this far?
I don't know. I think the memorable speech was the talk. Reason was that my mom was there, and also I think that was the first time, because I have done the speaking, but I have been always like in an office or in the small group. The biggest group I have been speaking before that was like 30 psychologies or something, but then that was like, 2,000 people in the musiikkitalo, music house, and then it was live streamed to 10,000 people in Finland. So I realized that, okay, now we are going for like, now Finnish people hear me, not just the professional people I'm talking now. Here I am telling my story, and my mom is hearing it first time also in my words.
Yeah.
So that was.
Makes sense. Has it gotten easier over time to talk about your transition, or do you think we're still fighting a taboo in society?
Obviously, it is like easier. Like I think easier for me because I had done it so long time, and I feel like I always talk about it. Like when you own your own story, nobody can use it against you. So like people, we try to, because we all are insecure. So we try to smell other people's insecurities and use that against them. So it makes us feel better. But it's coming from our own insecurity. So when I own stories, I realized when I was hiding myself, I knew that people can use that, who I am, as a weapon against me. But then now when I'm always like, wherever I go, I just want to like scream. I always do that. I go with the, like, bonding with the guys, and everybody's like, yeah, you're a good guy. And then when I've seen that like connection with them, then I'm like, yeah, and who would believe I'm trans, and here I am. And then you see them like,
oh.
But then you are already in, they're like, they already like you. So they are like in their head, like, but I already like this person. But if I would go in the moment and say, hey, I'm trans man, they wouldn't talk to me. But I always like slide in there, show that I'm one of them, I'm a nice guy, I'm nice to hang out with. And then I tell these small details that it doesn't define who I am. And so for me, it's like, it's easier, but obviously I did a long work for it. Like I worked so long time to become this place, and so I can't say that it's easier for everybody. Like if you would ask the same question like 6 years ago, I would tell it. I'm never gonna tell. No, 6, maybe 8 years ago, I would never tell anybody that I'm trans.
Okay.
So.
Don't you think we want to go towards a society though where you could walk to a group of friends and the first thing you say is I'm trans and there's no judgment?
Yeah, that would be ideal, but at least like when, I live half of the time London, half of the time Finland, that is what I do in London. It's just like, the thing is like, I understand why people hesitate to come too close to me. I'm not judging them. I understand it because that's how our brain works. It's like, if we are not comfortable about some topics, or if we don't fully understand, our brain is like, you're not safe. It's like the sense of you're not safe, so you're scared of it, so you put yourself away from it. And that's the thing, like I understand when people some things that I don't understand, I'm not relaxed around it, so I try to avoid it. And that's what my job is, to make them feel comfortable around me. Even it's not my job, but I know that I came to do that here, and it's ideal, but it's not still, at least in Finland there. So you just have to kind of do like this. Like I always say, I'm like a little bit like a spy. So I go there, and when I get my place, when I feel this is my crown and people accept me, then I tell the small details that they would never accept me or let me speak if they would know straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotcha. So in your story, you talked about you having difficulty to connect with others, right?
Yeah.
So what are your tips for other people who also struggle to connect with others?
Well, it's not so easy, obviously, to connect with your environment, because we are living in a society that we have never been taught to connect like pure ways. We are taught to connect with pretending to be like everybody else, fit in, be like everybody else. So we are connecting with the level of pretending, not the level of, being unique and, kind of like, I would say that only way you can connect with other people is that you are willing to connect with yourself first. Because if you don't connect to yourself, if you're not willing to show other people being seen as who you are, they can never get to know you.
Yeah.
And if you break that ice, it's not, it's scary, it's not easy, you're gonna be judged, but whatever you do in life, somebody's judging anyway. So it's like, if you feel safe environment, go for it, and build the crown. Because I feel like every time when I'm really open who I am, I see that other people start to change their behavior too. because they don't have to pretend around me. They're like, okay, you know, I don't have to pretend to be anybody else because this person probably not going to judge me because he's different too. So.
Okay. One of your speeches, you talk about how belonging in a group controls us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that because of the peer pressure to fit in with everyone else?
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Like we are taught since we are kids that, you know, fit in is like other people's opinions about you is more, you know, valuable for you, for your life, than your own thoughts about yourself or your own happiness. And that's why we are following other people's footsteps. That's why we are doing everything, because our parents like, you know, go with others and do that and you're going to be safe and more successful. But nobody tell like how would that do for our mental health.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, true. So since you became a public speaker, how has your life changed? Has it impacted anything?
Well, I think that obviously I knew that some level that this was my calling. I knew that why I had to go for that struggle from also many years of self-hate and everything to, you know, build this experience that now I can share. So when I started finally sharing that, I realized that I had to go all of that for a reason. So they changed that way my life, but then same time, you know, that I feel like I have purpose, but same times I just know that, you know, I can change so many people's life, and it's not what I do, it's who I am. And, you know, so then I just realized I can't pretend anymore to be anything else. And that's a big, you know, battle with your ego too, you know, because it's not just, everybody have some kind of roles. But yeah, it changed my life because nowadays people come sometimes, see me somewhere and they say like, look, you know, I have a kid. Even here today, it's like, you know, I have a kid. Everybody have a kid. It's not just that they're trans. They're like, you know, but they like a shirt with the flowers and, you know, my husband's this and my, so, you know, I realized that it's just not just trans people's story, that's everybody's story.
Okay. Have you evolved as a person during your speeches?
Sorry?
Have these speeches, have you evolved as a person with every speech you give? Have you changed personally?
Yeah, obviously, you know, practice, you get better. And I think that I realized at the start of my career, I always prepare a lot. But then I realized because I have bad dyslexia and I, you know, I have a hard time to always remember what I'm writing.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to practice always, like, this is what I wanted to say. And then when I went to the moment, if I forgot something, the whole speech went kind of like lost.
Okay.
Then I realized that, you know, I can't prepare too much because it's kind of like I'm losing my being present if I'm trying to remember something else. And then I realized also that if I week ago were thinking what the people would actually want to hear, I prepared something for audience that I didn't know yet. So I'm there to telling what I expect them to want to know or what is the right to say in the moment, but I never sense in the moment what should I say. So now obviously, like even today I said like, you know what, I don't have again speech, I go a little bit free flow, I have topics I want to talk, I don't know how long it takes, is it going to be 15 minutes, let's see. And even when I finish, I was like 4 minutes shorter than it should be. So short, 4 minutes before end, I just like, I don't have anything else to say, and then I went to free flow and all those things that needed to come in the moment came.
Okay.
So I didn't just plan it.
Kind of ironically goes into the next question. One of my community members asked, how do you prepare for your speeches? So is it kind of free fall, like you have topics in your head, but you don't write out a speech beforehand?
Yeah, so I write some notes that, you know, that this would be good to say or this could be maybe good, but more it's just the topics I want to speak. And I know that it's not working for everybody. It's just working for me. I don't know, is it because of my dyslexia? Is it for me because I'm best at it when I'm present? That's my strength. And I just feel like, you know, I can't know what is right to say before I'm in the moment. And I was thinking I'm lazy that way. People always say, oh, I've been preparing 1 month this, even talk to talk. People were preparing. I was like, this is just my laziness, you know. And then I once heard Oprah saying that she never prepared any TV show questions, and the production was like going crazy with her. She's like, you can't go live, you don't have any question. And she's like, how can I make question when I haven't met the person yet?
I should put these to the side then.
Like I didn't mean to judge, but that's the thing is like some people work different way. That works for me.
Yeah. Okay, so what would, if you could give one piece of advice for an aspiring public speaker, what would it be?
Just be you, I guess. I think that, don't try to be like other speakers because, there's only one voice and that's why you become a speaker. So you should always use your voice and your story. And what I say is like, if you're willing to also share your own stories while you are speaking whatever topic it is, it always bring more, it puts you being vulnerable because when people judge or they're not happy about your speak, then you know that I also share my story. So it can hit really close to home, but it always gives more value and more, it's deeper when you are willing to also not to be speaker, to be the human being there behind the stories.
I like it. My last question for you would be, you've shared your story, but is there anything, if there's one thing that people don't know you about
Is this the question you made it now, in the moment?
It was on the paper.
Ah.
I can do another one.
Okay, but
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, sticky on the spot.
Yeah, just don't pick that. Just pick something. What comes now? What would you want to ask for me?
What's your proudest moment?
I think my proudest moment was to really let people see how not ready I am and how not perfect I am, and I think that's the moment, like, it came from like going to therapy when I was younger and just realize like speaking openly about it and seeing like, look, even I am like so I'm fun and everything, this fella, like I'm not doing well, and I'm a sensitive person. I still have to work a lot, and I think that's the proudest moment when I'm just willing to show people that I'm not perfect. I'm never gonna be. I have to work like everybody else.
Yeah, so you've talked about your struggles then openly.
Yeah, and I'm still like, that's the thing. People are like, oh, so now you speak these things, so you are so ready. I'm like, no, I still go psychology to keep myself the best person I can and still keep learning. I don't have every answer, even I'm speaking for some stuff. So nobody has.
Wow. Well, that is all I do have, but it's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I think you're a real inspiration for a lot of people. So
thank you for having me. I hope you get some right answers for your questions.
I did. I might do opera in the future.
Yeah.